And welcome back to this special edition of Showbiz Tonight, Stars Then and Now. I'm AJ Hammer in New York. Tonight, the remarkable stories of how Hollywood's biggest stars have changed over the years. Another, Ben Affleck. He has had a long journey since his big Oscar win for Good Will Hunting. But after that, Ben Affleck has hunted for ways to revive his career. This was a career sidetracked really at one point because of his high-profile rocky romance with Jennifer Lopez. So tonight, then and now, how Ben Affleck went from Oscar winner to tabloid target to being back on top. It's an Oscar story for Hollywood's history books. The year 1998, a baby-faced Ben Affleck standing beside his childhood best friend Matt Damon, positively glowing backstage at the Oscars with their golden statuettes in hand. They had just won the Oscar for their labor of love, the movie Good Will Hunting.
We never thought that anyone would buy it or that it would actually go through the Hollywood sort of channels, much less, end up winning Academy Awards, for God's sake.
Ben Affleck, the star, was born.
Ben burst onto the scene with huge expectations.
Huge expectations indeed. After all, he was a local boy from Boston who made small, edgy indie films with a director named Kevin Smith, like Smith's Chasing Amy.
Just having a little girl trouble.
But after his Oscar win, Ben moved on to big-budget films like Armageddon.
We all gotta die, right? I'm the guy who gets to do it saving the world.
But with the fame, the offers, the money, and a curse. People Magazine's West Coast editor Mike Fleeman.
Right after he does Good Will Hunting, he makes Armageddon, this huge Michael Bay explosion sci-fi extravaganza, and it wasn't really what people expected from him. They thought maybe he could be something deeper, that he could be a true actor, a true artist, and not just a movie star. But movie star was fitting Ben Affleck quite well. In fact, he seemed to be enjoying it, even falling in love with his co-star from Shakespeare in Love, Gwyneth Paltrow, his first big Hollywood romance. That was an Oscar-caliber movie, but he had a small part, and he was just sort of playing a version of himself. He did come out of that dating Gwyneth Paltrow, and that was the first of these sort of huge Hollywood romances that would come to eclipse his career.
You can say that again. After Ben and Gwen ended their relationship, Ben met someone else on a movie set, this time for a movie named Geely. The year was 2002, and the girl, a music diva named Jennifer Lopez. The two were joined at the hip and fast becoming the hot new couple making headlines around the world.
Long before we had Brangelina, we had Bennifer, and that was Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez. And this was the hottest of the hot Hollywood romances, and it burned so hot that it seemed to almost consume Ben Affleck.
Consume him, it almost did. But before we get to that, Showbiz Tonight has got to ask, just how did Ben Affleck go from Oscar-winning actor to headline in the tabloids, back to a well-respected actor and director? It's a lesson for so many young stars in Hollywood who want that big Hollywood career.
Ben is an excellent lesson for young Hollywood because he had that meteoric rise, then he had that fall, slope down, then he tried the celebrity let's hook up with the really cool, amazing woman when he and Jennifer Lopez got together.
A hookup just ripe for the tabloids.
He made two mistakes. One, he made a lousy movie, Geely. At the same time, he is dating his co-star.
What is it you're so sad about?
I got this beautiful, sexy, unattainable girl sleeping in a bed right next to me.
It was a romance that the press just couldn't seem to get enough of. The interest in Bennifer was so high, in fact, that shortly after they were engaged, the two did an exclusive interview for NBC's news magazine show Dateline.
What's the most extravagant thing you bought her?
I would say the engagement ring is probably a thing that men spend the most money on in there, right?
Spend he did. Ben bought Jen a 6-carat pink diamond stunner. The media hype on Bennifer was in overdrive, and the couple didn't really do much to calm the frenzy either. Ben even starred in Jen's music video for her song Jenny on the Block.
I'm still Jenny from the block.
When you take a look at Ben Affleck in the video with J-Lo, it's obvious that this is not a good career move for him, nor a good personal move for him. He looks uncomfortable. Everybody else feels uncomfortable watching it.
As he was buying her Rolls Royces, They were hitting the party scene. It was crazy.
And even crazier times ahead when the duo postponed and then scrapped their media-hyped wedding altogether. The couple blamed the media for their split.
Things got so crazy that the fact that they didn't have a wedding became a big story.
Ben blamed the media when he went on Larry King Live in 2004.
Relationships are difficult propositions under any circumstances, and there are a lot of difficulties in everyday life. Those are magnified when it's that degree of scrutiny all the time.
And Ben learned something from his Bennifer years. Keeping his romance out of the spotlight and working hard on his career was the only way to go. It was on the set of Daredevil he met and fell in love with co-star Jennifer Garner. And then, you didn't hear from them. Nothing. Until June 2005 when they got married. Ben became a father to their baby Violet in December of that same year. His career came calling once again with a great little movie called Hollywoodland.
Hollywoodland was a very good movie that very few people saw, but it was a turning point for Ben Affleck. It showed the world that he really is a good actor.
Great cut, great cut.
Something had changed, and it was no longer about the fame, the fortune, it was about the family. And even Ben can't ignore the coincidence that being happy in his personal life has meant good things for his career. Just listen to him explain it to CNN's Larry King.
You know, if you get to a point in your life where you think, look, my personal life, I'm married and I'm really happy, and that part of my life is really great, and look, at the same time, I'm in the best place I've ever been professionally, and is that a coincidence, or did those things happen simultaneously?
That's just proof of the pudding that you can lead a private life and be successful without the false hoopla.
Dr. Judy, Showbiz Tonight couldn't have said it any better.